Okay, I just want to start this video out with a little exercise, alright? So, pretend that I'm Nintendo, and pretend that you're a Nintendo fan. Alright, so I, Nintendo, just announced that there's going to be a full-length 50-minute long direct, and now you, the Nintendo fan, I want you to think about what kind of games you want to see from that direct. Okay, I hope your answer was thumb wrestling in Wii Sports. So yeah, yesterday, at the time of recording, June 9th, 2026, we got a Nintendo Direct. And the response to that Nintendo Direct was, not incredible. It was actually pretty negative. A lot of people thought that the Direct was really boring, had a pretty big lack of exciting announcements, and just all around, a lot of this stuff felt like it could have just been an email. Now, personally, I think that the overly negative responses are kinda unwarranted. I mean, in my reaction video, I said that I thought the Direct was mid, and I still think that, but I do think that there's a pretty big difference between mid and bad. No, it was far from the best Direct ever, but I've seen some terrible Directs, and this was not one of them. And I know that saying that makes it seem like I gave this video an overly negative title for no reason, but I promise it's not like that. Because while I thought that the Direct was just mid, I think that the timing of it is what really killed it for me and a lot of other people. And I'll get further into that, but first we're gonna need to talk about the actual content of the Direct, namely the games that were featured. They started the Direct off with Rhythm Heaven Groove, which was definitely a decision. And please do not get me wrong, this is not me hating on the game. I'm sure it is fun, it looks like a very cute game and a very enjoyable game. I'm just not a rhythm game guy, so I don't really have anything to say about it. The reason I'm saying that it was bad to start off with is because we already knew this game existed. We've known it for over a year now. It's launching next month, so this is barely even an announcement to begin with, and also, it's a much more niche franchise than something like Mario or Zelda. And that's not a bad thing. One of my favorite game series of all time is Ace Attorney, and while that's not necessarily a niche series, it's much more niche than something like Mario or Zelda. So starting the Direct off with Ace Attorney 7, for example, which we did not get, that would be a very, very jarring and weird decision. Unfortunately, this Direct just started off really slow, and that was further proven by the first two headlines, which were Onimusha and Dragon's Dogma 2, and I'm not hating on those games, I haven't played them, I just know that they have gotten pretty mixed reception, and they are two Capcom games that are not Ace Attorney 7, so I'm actually personally affected by that. No, I'm joking, but these aren't like massive games that are going to draw people right into the Direct. But the former is hitting the Switch family of systems in September. Actually, I think it's just the Switch 2, and then same with the next one, which comes out in October. If you were looking forward to those, that's great. All I'm saying is, these are not games that are big enough to be starting off a Direct. Next up was Stellar Blade. This was another one of the headlines, and no, this also is not some huge game that's going to draw an audience in, but I actually have heard of this one, and I think that it looks pretty cool and pretty fun. Ramses, who's a great YouTuber, I would recommend him. He does stuff about video games, sometimes about anime. Anyways, he made a video about this game, and I remember thinking it looked like a lot of fun. It kind of looks like a mix between something like Bayonetta and like No More Heroes, and I'd definitely be down to try it. It launches at some unspecified point during the year. A few of the game announcements did this, which I thought was weird. It's one thing to announce a game's coming in 2026 in like January, but we're in June. There are 6 months left in this year. When is it coming out? Just say it. Then there was Orbitals. They've talked about this one before, and it looks kinda cool, but it's a co-op game and I don't have any friends, so. The next announcement was for a Rayman Legends remake, which is probably the biggest thing we got out of this, like, early part of the Direct. And it looks pretty cool, and people seem to be happy about it, which I'm glad about. I have personally never played a Rayman game in my life. I know Rayman Legends is supposed to be like one of the best 2D platformers out there, so I probably should get around to trying it, but it's probably very exciting for fans. It launches in October too, so not too far off. And next up we have Big Walk. After that, they announced this One Piece game, like a game based on the anime/manga One Piece, which I thought was kind of interesting. I've never watched or read One Piece, but I think it's cool that we're getting an anime game that isn't a, like, 3D arena fighter. I haven't really seen something like this done before. They usually, like I said in my reaction, just go with like that Bandai Namco 3D Arena Fighter thing. And that honestly opens up windows for more creative anime game adaptations, which I really, really like the idea of, because a lot of games based on really cool anime just end up being really mediocre and just forgotten about, which sucks. Like Rayman, this one also launches in October. This next announcement was not a game, but it was an update for a game. That game being Pokemon Pokopia. This game looks very good and is supposed to be very good, and I want to play it, but I do not yet have a Switch 2. There was a free update that got announced, and then 3 waves of paid DLC, which was really interesting to me. I know it's the Pokemon Company, but 3 whole waves of extra content for Pokemon Pokopia? I mean, like I said, I think it looks great, but for like a life sim game, there's 3 waves of DLC. This isn't like Mario Kart. And how much are they charging for all of that? Alright, now here is where we got like the first really big part of the direct for me, which was when they talked about Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. This wasn't an announcement like Rhythm Heaven. This game has been announced for over a year now, but I am very, very excited for this game, and we haven't seen anything since that initial announcement, so yeah, I was super excited. It appears to be very heavily centered around arena fighting, not like the Bandai Namco shit I was talking about earlier. I mean like Greek Colosseum shit, which is a sick concept, and I don't think they've done it before for Fire Emblem. The cast of characters looks like it's pretty diverse, and that's awesome. The character portraits also move during dialogue now, as far as I can tell, and I kind of like it. Some people don't, but I think it looks kind of cute. It's a cool touch, I think, that seems to add to the expressiveness of the characters. And then, of course, it looks like it's related to Three Houses, the most recent mainline Fire Emblem game. Engage does not count. And there appear to be 4 routes. Holy shit. It launches in September, which is scarily soon, and I'm really hoping it turns out good. I am honestly considering getting a Switch 2 for this game. I'm also tempted to make a thoughts on and hopes for video, which I haven't done since that Switch 2 reveal, and also I kind of feel like it's late for that now since it's been announced for forever and it launches in September. But more importantly than that, I don't want to curse it like I did with Engage. After that, we had Ninjala 2. Now, if that name doesn't mean anything to you, that's not surprising, because Nintendo put out this game like relatively early into the Switch generation, and it was also like a mobile game, and then everyone forgot about it, including myself. I played it for like a few days and then got bored and uninstalled it, and I don't even remember what it was like. I guess we're getting a second one though. I don't know, it seems like such a weird decision. There are so many other games they could make instead of this. It launches in spring 2027 though, so hey, if you're a massive like ride or die Ninjala fan, then you probably lost your shit over this. Next up, we got another non-arena fighter anime game announced, and this one was actually based on an anime that I have seen, Jujutsu Kaisen. And I like Jujutsu Kaisen, actually. One of my most popular videos is about it, and I have yet to see Season 3, but I'll get on that soon, I promise. Anyways, I thought this was cool in some ways, because the actual Jujutsu Kaisen arena fighter game was apparently ass. Overall, though, I feel miffed at best about this. The graphics don't look great. I can't be the only one that thinks that, right? I mean, there's a lot of potential, Megumi, for a good Jujutsu Kaisen game. I just don't think that this second attempt is going to be the one to hit the mark. Anyways, it launches at some point this year, so yeah. Lords of the Fallen 2? Does anyone even know what the fuck this game is? It just looks like another Dark Souls knockoff. It launches this fall, though. Lies of P was also announced for the Switch 2. This game's supposed to be pretty good, but it's also like the 800th Souls-like game that they announced in this presentation. There's a digital version launching in August and a physical version coming in October. Devil May Cry 5, though. This one looks fucking sick. It may be a Capcom game that is not Ace Attorney, but I will excuse it because this game is supposed to be really good, and I think it's cool that it's coming to the Switch. Unfortunately, I have not gotten into Devil May Cry yet. I don't have any of the games. I've been meaning to get into the series. There are people that say that 5 is the best in the series, so again, this is just really exciting. It launches this month also, so what the fuck? Next up was another exciting announcement, Muramasa Revenant Blades. This was exciting for me at least. Muramasa and the Demon Blade was supposed to be a really dope Wii game. I never played it because I was really young when I had the Wii and this was just not the kind of game that interested me. It got really good reviews though, it looks gorgeous, and it was on PBG's top 10 Wii games list. This is, from what I can tell, a remaster or expanded version of it, or both. And I would love to get my hands on it, and I'm lucky because it launches on the Switch 1 and 2 next year. Next, the 3 mainline Xenoblade games got Switch 2 editions announced. X, the spin-off, already has a Switch 2 edition, and that's very exciting. I personally don't care much when they announce Switch 2 editions because, again, I don't have a Switch 2, but it provides graphical upgrades to the games and then also just additional stuff, and hopefully that'll convince someone to pick up Xenoblade 1 because that's my favorite game of all time. The Direct was really hitting its stride for me here though, because not only did they announce those, they announced a brand new Xenoblade game. It appears to be like a spin-off. It's called Xenoblade Genesis. It looks pretty different from the core series and almost looks like it'll have a whole academy aspect to it, like Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I'm really, really excited to get more information about it. This was fucking huge for me, and I won't lie, it might have been my favorite announcement from the Direct. It launches next year, so gonna have to wait for a bit, but hopefully we at least get more information soon, please. And then the stride came to a screeching halt with Switch Sports Resort. Nintendo has just, for some reason, despite the games being so good, never seemed to understand Wii Sports and what made those games so good. I mean, first they fought hard for some reason to not have them be pack-in titles on the Wii, and then there was the failed Wii U sports game that no one remembers, and now we have the Switch sports games. The first one sold really well, of course, and I can imagine that it was some kid's first experience with a Wii Sports type game, and they probably had fun with it, and you know what, that's great. But that game was severely lacking in content and just had no soul, especially when it came to the Sportsmates avatars that just look ugly as shit, and they made the Miis a total afterthought. That was a huge source of complaints with that first game, and for some reason, despite them doing so amazingly well with Mii shit and Tomodachi Life, they're back to this bullshit again, and it just looks worse than ever. This game visually pales in comparison to the 2009 Wii game it's trying to emulate the experience of, and I'm not even fucking joking. I don't get why Nintendo wants to use these ugly avatars so bad. They do not work. And also, Wii Sports Resort with no frisbee golf, no sword fighting, instead we get fucking thumb wrestling, which isn't even a sport and is the dumbest shit ever because, as someone that commented on my reaction video pointed out, you can just do that in real life. Wii Sports is so fun because you can't just go out and play golf every day. It's fun because you get to simulate it with your friends and just to do it in a video game. A video game version of thumb wrestling is the least interesting shit of all time. Literally the only good thing to come out of this whole clusterfuck was Koizumi's demonstration of the thumb wrestling game, because as people pointed out in posts, it looked like he was jerking off with the camera he had set up for it. My camera in the reaction video was blocking it, and I didn't even realize in my reaction what it looked like he was doing, but then when I did, after seeing those posts, I still cannot stop laughing. It is the funniest shit ever. Anyways, yeah, Wii Sports is not going to make the comeback it deserves with this game, and then it launches in October. Then we got a RuneScape game. I don't really know anything about RuneScape other than it's old and Drew Gooden likes it. It launches in September. And we got a Hello Kitty game. And you know what? It looks better than Switch Sports Resort. Star Fox got another trailer. I already made a whole video talking about that initial Star Fox Direct, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but I'm still not the biggest fan of the character designs. I think that they look pretty rough. I'll wait to see how the reviews are, and I won't have to wait long because the game comes out this month. And it's not like I'll be able to get it anyways because, again, I don't have a Switch 2. And then, much like Nintendo's apparent obsession with the Sportsmates avatars in the Switch sports games, we got to see more of Square Enix's obsession with HD 2D graphics with Final Fantasy Resonance, the first new HD 2D Final Fantasy game. And with literally every HD 2D graphics game that that comes out, I think it looks jarring and ugly. I don't think my opinion on those graphics is ever going to change, and that's okay. I'm glad that people are able to enjoy them, and honestly, I am jealous, because that means I'm not gonna have any interest in this game. I know it's fucked up that I'm a JRPG lover and I haven't finished a single Final Fantasy game. If I do end up getting a Switch 2 sometime soon, I will absolutely play the 7 Remake trilogy, and then also I'll try out other games like 8 as well. This game though, yeah, definitely not one I'll be checking out. If you are looking forward to this one, more power to you. It launches in October. After this was Piku Niku 2, the sequel to a game called Piku Niku that I think I've heard of, but I'm not totally sure. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with this one. I saw some people excited about it though, so I won't hate. It launches next year, and if this looks like your thing, you should absolutely go out and get it. It looks pretty quirky and fun, I will admit. After this was Dragon Quest Monsters. Fun fact, Dragon Quest is another JRPG series that is massive, and I have barely played it. I had 11, and I played the first hour or first few hours of it, and then forgot about it, and I don't even think I have it anymore. And I should give it another chance, but I just haven't been bothered to. I'm sorry. Anyways, this looks like some Pokemon-esque spin-off of the series, which is pretty cool. Comes out in December. Then, if it wasn't for the whole bum wrestling demonstration thing, we had the funniest moment in the Direct, which was the shortest ever look at the Duskbloods. In case you don't remember, it's the Switch 2 exclusive FromSoft game that was announced in the original Switch 2 Direct. Yes, it has been over a year since it was announced, and we have not gotten any information about it since then. I am speaking in the present, by the way, because this didn't reveal shit. All we found out was that there was a summer 2026 window for a closed network test. First of all, no idea what the hell that means. Second of all, it is currently summer 2026. You better figure out an actual date for that soon. It is hilarious. They spent more time on fucking thumb wrestling than this. Next up was Splatoon Raiders, which, like Rhythm Heaven and Fire Emblem, we already know that this game is coming. They had another trailer. It was weirdly long for a game that had already had a lot of information revealed, I thought, but hey, a lot of people are excited for this one, and I think that is very cool. I don't play Splatoon, so this extra peek at the game was obviously not my thing. However, it was probably, like I said, very exciting for a lot of other people. It launches next month. Next was Deltarune Chapter 5. This, for a lot of people, was like the most exciting announcement of the Direct, and I think it's cool. I just kinda haven't played Deltarune or Undertale, and I know that I should, and I know that the fact that I haven't is enough reason to publicly execute me, and I promise I will get around to it at some point, I promise. This chapter launches this month. Pretty crazy, pretty cool. In this Direct, I was really hoping we'd see Persona 6 and or Persona 4 Revival show up. We didn't, and that was pretty disappointing and pretty surprising. I felt like there was a pretty big chance of getting 4 Revival at least, and we didn't. But we did get Metaphor Refantasio, which is another Atlas game. I was a little disappointed it wasn't one of the 2 aforementioned games, but this is supposed to be a really good game, and I think it's really exciting that it is hitting the Switch too. It launches in November, which again, sooner than I would expect. Then after that, they ran out of Souls-like games to announce, so they just decided to announce Minecraft again. And now we hit the penultimate announcement, which was a shit ton of Kingdom Hearts stuff. This segment was so stacked that it made me wish I was a Kingdom Hearts fan. Holy shit, I'm just realizing they announced like a new game for every like big JRPG series that I have yet to touch. Kingdom Hearts, on the other hand, is one that honestly I'm not too tempted to play, and I know it should be, since again it's one of the biggest JRPGs ever, but the whole like appeal of the game being like, no pun intended, goofy situations involving Disney characters, then it also kind of takes itself seriously. I don't know, that whole thing never appealed to me. I've never cared too much about Disney and stuff. This was probably Christmas for Switch owning Kingdom Hearts fans though. And then finally we saw the Ocarina of Time remake. They finally revealed it. I think it's safe to say that this was objectively the biggest announcement to come out of the Direct. I mean, even if you aren't a Zelda fan, there's a reason they saved this for last, okay? The only reason I wouldn't say it's my favorite announcement, and why I'd call Xenoblade Genesis my favorite announcement instead, is because, I mean, this was leaked a few months ago, and it was so obvious this was bound to happen. But still, seeing it get actually confirmed was otherworldly. That whole storybook style teaser they did was great. Except, I'm sorry if I sound spoiled here, but especially given the kind of significant lack of content from the rest of the Direct, why didn't they show us more? This game launches this year. They have to have some gameplay to show us, right? Like, aside from this, I don't know, man. This Direct was really lacking hard hitters, and a bigger reveal could have made up for that in so many ways. But no, we only saw a fraction of what might not even be a real part of the game. I get it, though, they had to focus on thumb wrestling instead. I especially wish we got to see more with this game in particular, though, just because I am so nervous about how it's gonna be. Ocarina of Time is my favorite Zelda game, and just one of my favorite games I've ever played, and if they mess up the graphics or try and turn it into Breath of the Wild, I will lose my shit. Like I said in my video about the aforementioned leaks, I like Breath of the Wild. It is a great game. It's just that this game is not Breath of the Wild, and they should keep it that way. And okay, they didn't show the actual game, like, at all, but I'm fucking nervous, okay? It comes out this year. They should have gameplay to show us, right? Can we see more of it soon, please? And that was all the games, so now it's time to get back to what I was saying earlier with the timing. The timing of this Direct is what killed it for me and a lot of other people. Despite the presentation being, in my opinion, just kinda mid instead of outwardly bad, it was made worse by, one, how long it has been since the last Direct, September of last year, as well as the current stage Nintendo was in. It has been a year since the Switch 2 launched, and a lot of people just don't see the need to own one of these consoles. It's not like the original Switch, where almost immediately it had a huge install base and just a ton of games that people were claiming to be absolute system sellers. There are some system sellers for this console, Mario Kart World, but that game has a ton of controversy, for obvious reasons. Donkey Kong Bonanza, but that game doesn't have as big of an audience as an actual 3D Mario or something. There are some other games, but really, despite some of them looking absolutely fantastic, none of them are true system sellers. So with Nintendo in this current spot, and also for this being the first big Direct in a while, for it to be this underwhelming is just not great, and I feel like that's why a lot of people have had really negative reactions to it. It's definitely not the worst Direct we've ever gotten. The people that are saying it clearly have not seen a ton of Directs. But no, it was just not great. But with all of that said, that's pretty much everything that I had to say. If you enjoyed this video, then please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and all of that, because it really helps me out, and I'm really hoping to hit 1K subs by the end of this year. And then also, let me know what you thought of this video specifically. This is my first time doing, like, a video where I talk about my thoughts on the Direct. Usually I just post a reaction video and that's it. And I had fun. It was cool doing a kind of like relaxed editing, very loose script kind of thing with this video. I had fun. So yeah, let me know what you thought, and I hope to see you in the next one, but until then, bye.